My name is Posnam Yuri. You are welcome to this wonderful, time. In this video, we are going to talk about the meaningful marriage. You're welcome to this channel. This Munapagir TV is a channel, our goal is to ensure that we provide helpful, godly values for you and your family. Please, if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, do it now. And please, we ask you to invite your friends and family members to subscribe to this, important channel, because we are going to be sharing godly values in different formats. Well, in this video, I want to talk to you about then what is the goal? Why do we have marriage? In my previous videos, I have talked to you about the big picture, and I've also talked to you about marriage is not for happiness. I don't know if you have watched the videos. If you are yet to, please, you can check these videos and make sure you watch, all of them. In today's video, I want to tell you a little bit about me, and then we look at then why do we have marriage. I got married in 1999. Before that time, nobody told me most of the things I will be sharing with you in this journey. Nobody told me. We got married, and my wife and I, we had a wonderful journey, and we are still having. We give God the glory for helping us to learn several lessons. But some years ago, the Lord helped me, and I wrote a book titled The Meaningful Marriage. Writing this book is one of the important things that happened to me, because as a result of writing this book, the Lord helped me. He shaped my understanding of marriage, and then I discovered the big picture. I discovered something about marriage that is bigger than what I thought, before I got married. I also discovered many things about marriage that many people out there, don't know. I have been invited to various seminars or couples programs to share about the meaningful marriage. And I can tell you, very, very, very big transformation, the Lord, for the glory of God. So please, today I'm going to share from this book, why do we have marriage? The purpose of something can only be found in that thing. The purpose of letter A can only be found in letter A. If you can find the reason for letter A in letter B, it simply means there is no need for letter A to exist. So the primary reason, the goal, the reason for marriage, apart from the big picture, which is glorifying God, the reason for marriage cannot be found outside marriage. If you can find the top reason, for marriage outside marriage, then there is no need for marriage. Let's look at a few things. Happiness, in my video, I told you that marriage is bigger than just your happiness. Okay, if happiness is the reason for marriage, then everyone will be born sad, and then we become happy when we marry. But if happiness is the goal for marriage, then the singles can never be happy, because they cannot access it until they are married. I said this somewhere in one training, and somebody said the singles are even happier. Is it true that the singles are even happier? So happiness can be found outside marriage. Singles are happy, married are also happy. So let's keep that aside. If childbearing is the main reason, then no matter what singles do, they cannot have children outside marriage. Even though it is sinful to have children outside marriage, but they can have it. They have the ability to have children, because they can also have access to having children. It simply means childbearing is not the goal, the main reason for marriage. Remember, what we are talking about now is if the purpose of marriage can only be found in it. If we talk about companionship, companionship is not limited to marriage. There are all married people who have access to companionship. So we can keep that aside, okay? We can keep that aside. If sex is the goal of marriage, then everyone will be born sealed and be unsealed in marriage. But in my research, when I was writing this book, I discovered no. Singles are there, they have the ability, they have the access to sex. So it means that sex is not the central reason. Remember, the central reason for marriage can only be found in it. The question is, what is it? What is it that can only be found in marriage that cannot be found outside marriage? Then we have to look at Ephesians chapter 5, and we have to look at what Paul says. Paul says that the wife, just like the church submits to Christ, that's how the wife should submit to her husband. Just like the Jesus Christ loves the church, that's how the husband should love his wife. And then down Paul says this is a mystery. It is an illustration of the relationship between Christ and the church. Immediately Paul says that. I said, yes, marriage is an illustration of the relationship, between Christ and the church. The wife submits to her husband, just like the church submits to Christ. And then the husband loves his wife, just like Jesus loves the church. Marriage is illustrating the relationship between Christ and the church. And I said, wow, yes, illustrating the relationship between Christ and the church is something the singles, no matter what they do, they cannot achieve it. They cannot produce it. It cannot just happen outside marriage. So marriage is an illustration of the relationship between Christ and the church. What that means is this: marriage is bigger than you. Someone says that the devil is not fighting your marriage because of you. He is fighting your marriage because of what your marriage represents. So you see, the coming together of the wife, of the man and the woman, is illustrating the relationship between Christ and the church. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So the question is, how is the relationship between Christ and the church? Is it a peaceful relationship? In my research, I discovered no. The church is always hurting Jesus Christ, is always unfaithful, yet Christ loves the church. You see the point? So marriage is beyond your imagination. Marriage is not your creation. Marriage is an illustration of the relationship between Christ and the church. Are you getting that? So wherever you are, your family, your marriage is supposed to reflect that. People who don't know the relationship between Christ and the church in your community should look at your marriage and say, wow, now we do, because this marriage has clearly explained it. So marriage is not just about happiness. Marriage is not about sex. Marriage is not about childbearing. Marriage is not about companionship. All these things are benefits or you can find in marriage. But the central reason, the big picture is to glorify God. Then the reason for you to be able to achieve that, the perspective for you to be able to use to achieve glorifying God is to understand that just like the church submits to Christ, that is how the wife should submit to her husband. Just like Christ loves the church, that is how the husband should love his wife. Submission, love. Submission, love. So you see, your marriage is bigger than what you are thinking right now. So another question is, then if we are here to illustrate the relationship between Christ and the church, why do we have crisis? Why do we have crisis? Of course, in illustrating the relationship between Christ and the church, you also have to look at the relationship between the church and Jesus Christ. You have to look at it. Is it peaceful? Is Jesus always happy with our attitude in the church? The answer is no. But another question is, will Jesus divorce the church no matter the level of sin the church has committed? The answer is no. despite the unfaithfulness of the church, despite the difficulty, despite the kind of resistance of us in the church, Christ loves the church unconditionally. So Christ loves the church unconditionally. Christ will never divorce the church because Christ loves the church unconditionally. So your marriage is beyond your happiness. Your marriage is beyond childbearing. Your marriage is beyond your sexual satisfaction. Your marriage is beyond companionship. Your marriage is, first of all, for the glory of God. God placed you there to give him the glory. That is the big picture. But how you can give him the glory, you need this understanding of this primary reason. What is it? You are illustrating the relationship between Christ and the church. My name is Pusnam Yere. Please follow. I will be sharing more videos, on the meaningful marriage, and I invite you to be part of it. Remember, subscribe if you are yet to, and like, comment, and share. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.